All right, let's get right into it. We all like to think of ourselves as pretty rational people. We see evidence, we weigh the facts, and we come to these, logical conclusions. But what if I told you that sometimes when you're shown facts that totally contradict what you believe, it actually makes you believe it even more?
Man, Mark Twain just absolutely nailed it with this one. This quote perfectly captures the crazy paradox we're going to unpack today. See, the most dangerous beliefs aren't the ones we're unsure about. They're the ones we are positive are true, even when they're completely wrong. So that's the million-dollar question, right? Why do we do this? And it's not just about being stubborn. It turns out there are these really powerful psychological forces hardwired into our brains, and their whole job is to protect our worldview, even from the truth itself. So let's dig in. Our story here really begins inside our own heads. Yeah, long before social media algorithms were even a thing, our brains were already total pros at building their own little echo chambers. And it all starts with this one fundamental cognitive bias. This right here is the architect of that echo chamber. It's called confirmation bias. And the tricky thing is, it's an automatic, totally unconscious process. Your brain isn't really trying to find the objective truth. Nope. It's trying to prove that what it already believes is the truth. I absolutely love this way of thinking about it. Confirmation bias is basically a bouncer at the nightclub of your mind. Any information that agrees with you, oh yeah, you're on the list, come on in, right to the VIP section. But any of those pesky, inconvenient facts that challenge what you think, sorry, you're not getting in tonight. And this bouncer has a system, It works in three main ways. First, you have a biased search. You literally Google things in a way that gets you the answers you want to hear. Second, you get biased interpretation. You'll see some vague, ambiguous piece of evidence and go, see, I knew it. This proves I'm right. And finally, it even messes with your memory. You'll more easily remember all the times your views were confirmed and just kind of forget all the times they weren't. Okay, so confirmation bias builds the echo chamber and gets us inside. But what keeps us locked in? Even when the very evidence our belief was built on gets completely demolished? Well, that brings us to the next, even more powerful effect. And this is called belief perseverance. This is like the next level of being dug in. The original reason you believed something could be proven 100% false, a total sham. But the belief itself, oh, it sticks around. Just think of it like a mental anchor. Once you've dropped that anchor and committed to a belief, it takes a ton of effort to pull it back up. Your mind will just cling to that spot, even if the world and all the facts are telling you the tide has completely changed. And now we get to the most fascinating and, honestly, the most troubling part of this whole thing. What happens when someone comes along and tries to help? They throw you a life raft made of pure, hard facts. Well, sometimes it does the exact opposite of what you'd expect. This is the backfire effect. And it's a very specific and very potent form of belief perseverance. It's when an attempt to correct a piece of misinformation doesn't just fail to work. It actually makes the person believe the misinformation even more. The correction backfires. It makes the problem worse. Now, I know this sounds totally backwards, but it's not just a theory. It's been documented in some really clever experiments. A couple of researchers, Brendan Nyhan and Jason Reifler, ran a landmark study to see this effect happen in real time. So, to make it feel as real as possible, they created these mock news articles. They looked totally legitimate, but they secretly contained a common political misperception, usually framed as a quote from a politician. The setup was really simple. Everybody in the study read the misleading claim. Then they randomly split the group in half. One half also got a clear, factual correction that completely debunked the claim they just read. The other half, the control group, got nothing. And then they asked everyone what they believed. And the results were just wild. For the people who were already inclined to believe the misinformation, the correction didn't just fail to persuade them, it actually caused them to double down. They ended up believing the false claim even more strongly than the people who never saw correction at all. Okay, so just look at this one example from their study. They had conservatives read a claim that major tax cuts actually increase government revenue. Now, this first bar shows the group that saw no correction. Their belief in the claim is, moderate. But now look at the second bar. This is the group that got a factual correction, one that proved the claim was false. And what happened? Their belief didn't go down, it shot up. The facts literally made the misperception stronger. That's the backfire effect in action. And look, this was not just a one-off thing, and it's not about one political side. They found this pattern all over the place. For example, a correction about the lack of WMDs in Iraq backfired on some conservatives, and another correction about stem cell policy failed to reduce misperceptions among some liberals. This is a human thing, not a political one.
Okay, so we've got these really deep-seated biases baked into our psychology. Now, let's throw the most powerful information-generating tool ever created into the mix: artificial intelligence. What do you think happens then?
This is honestly the best way to think about AI's role in all of this. It's not a truth machine, it's a pattern mirror. It doesn't actually know what's true or false. It's just been trained on mountains of human language, and its entire job is to replicate our patterns. And that includes all of our biases and all of our misinformation.
And that's the real danger here. When you use an AI to, say, research a topic you already have a strong opinion on, you're not really researching. You're basically just outsourcing your confirmation bias to a synthetic yes man. It's a machine that can create a perfectly written, totally convincing case for something that is just plain wrong.
So this is the question you have to start asking yourself. The second an AI gives you the exact answer you were hoping for, that's the moment your skepticism should go through the roof. It's a huge red flag telling you to stop and seriously question your own assumptions. So after hearing all this, you might be feeling a little, I don't know, hopeless. I mean, if our own minds are wired against the truth and facts can actually make things worse, what are we supposed to do? Well, the good news is there is an antidote. And this, right here, is the single most important takeaway. The solution isn't outside of you, it's inside. You can't fight this by just throwing more facts at the problem. The only real antidote is to change your entire mindset, to actively, intentionally go looking for perspectives that challenge you, to stop hunting for confirmation and start hunting for disconfirmation. And that's the challenge I really want to leave you with. It's hard, it's uncomfortable, it takes real courage, but the next time you feel that powerful surge of certainty, that gut feeling that you absolutely, without a doubt, know the truth, will you have the intellectual honesty to stop and ask, okay, but how could I be wrong? And then actually go look for the answer?